sector. Just a small video.
Yes.
Audible? Voice नहीं आ रहा है यार, 1 second. Why? अभी नहीं है यार. Excuse me, guys. I do not know. I'm not. Maybe my audio is not coming. The video which I'm playing is not audible. Hello.
Yes, it's not audible.
Why it's not audible? I don't know. I'm trying. All things are on. I'm sorry, but video at least you are able to see.
Yeah, we can able to see, sir.
Oh God, it's not. Something is wrong. Why audio? All audios are on. Actually, I have not muted anything.
Oh.
Select micro speaker. Settings. Is it coming now? No.
It's paused, I think so, sir.
No. I'm sorry, it is not happening. Is it happening now? I don't know.
Yeah, it's happening now.
Not audible?
Not audible.
Oh God. Okay, the video is not. I think I will have to go for the presentation.
Yes.
You are able to hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very clear.
I'm sorry, that video which I wanted to play.
No issue, sir. No issue, sir.
It was a nice video, but I will try to see whether I can give it. It shows the real impact of what the environment is getting affected. Something wrong with the audio system. It is not known to me. Today's I want to talk about the environmental impact and why electric mobility is important. What is the electric vehicle and how does it work? How will it impact our environment? EV sales trend and growth prediction. Then next part I will talk briefly, may not be exactly the full detailing, types of vehicles, EV component details, battery charging systems, and advantages or limitations. Why an electric vehicle is important. Usage of EV will result in significant reduction in air pollution, as transportation accounts for 1/3 of all energy usage. Air pollution is now the 4th highest cause of death among all health risks globally. State of Global Air 2020 report identified air pollution as a top risk factor in India. So the deaths globally is 5 lakh infants are dying out of pollution, and in India 1.2 lakhs. And India has 14 out of 15 polluted cities in the world. So pollution is the biggest threat. After seeing this one, there is a Paris Protocol in which India has signed that it will reduce emission level by 25% by 2030. If you want to reduce pollution level by 25% in 2030, there is no other way but to go for electric vehicle, because electric vehicle has 0 emission at the exhaust. There is no exhaust emissions, and the indirect contribution of emission comes from only the industries from where the electricity gets produced. but at the tailpipe, there is no emission. There is no tailpipe emission in exhaust. So air pollution around 14% of air pollution is contributed in India by 14%, which comes from automobiles. So the other things like, domestic cooking, dust, construction, diesel generator, and all contribute somewhat lesser. The waste burning and the industries are other major contributors. So we are now talking about the pollution, how to bring down that 14% air pollution that comes from transport industry by bringing down to electric vehicles. So these are some of the pictures which talk about, the deaths what are reported, the kind of diseases linked, like, heart disease, diabetes, asthma, obesity, cancer, dementia, linked to, stillbirths, infant deaths, low birth weight, organ damage, premature deaths. The most vulnerable groups are vulnerable and deprived people, and bus and taxi drivers. Lungs are affected. These are all things which all contribute to the pollution. So after committing there, the 2013, India started the mission of National Electric Mobility, NEMMP. Later, after protocol, 2016 protocol, FAME2 was introduced in India. That FAME2, after introduction of that has got a lot of focus to encourage use of electric vehicles, especially on incentives. Mainly the incentives to the customers which have been given, or the manufacturers which have been given, is for 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 5 lakh 3-wheelers, 10 lakh 2-wheelers, and 55,000 4-wheelers, 7,000 buses. And the country is intending to put charging stations, 2,700 in the part of FAME2. And there is a 10,000 crore outlay for the 3 years. This is FAME2 scheme. When introducing this FAME2 and committing there in the global Paris Accord, so the government of India has put all the various ministries, linked ministries, into action. Ministry of Power for ensuring power grid and power supplies for charging stations. Department of Heavy Industries, Department of Urban Development, Ministry of Roads and Transport for creating the electric buses and all the vehicles conversions, Niti Ayog for the planning and budgeting. These are some of the good things about the FAME2, and a few issues are also there. As I told you, 10,000 crore outlay has been done for battery and EV and battery infrastructure. Benefits are spread over 3 years to give continuity in the policy, and they will continue later also. Manufacturers' benefits are not clear. Exactly, the manufacturer benefits are not clear. So that is the issue. No incentives for the 4-wheelers, private 4-wheelers. Battery costs are high. So I'll come to the battery cost, because battery cost, it's reducing from what it was 10 years before to what is now, as the technology improves. And a low incentives for the hybrids. Hybrid is not really focused in India. See, these are the things which are currently seen as issues. Look at the graph, which talks about 2010, it was almost 0% of EVs, and now it is 2.5% of the total global population. The major market contributors are China, Europe, and US. China is the biggest player, and China is going to be the leader in EV technology, EV battery manufacturing, as well as EV sales in future. In India, if you see the numbers, our only 1% of the volume is EV. Even in that 1%, 95% are 2-wheelers, and remaining 5% only are 4-wheelers. So it's a big target for the government of India to make it 30% electric vehicles by 2030 to combat pollution. Unless and until it's done, whatever we committed to reduce 25% pollution by 2030 will be a very difficult situation. EV sales forecast. What was global EV forecast is about compound annual growth of 29%. And currently it is about 2.5 million. It is expected to be 11.2 million by 2025. The study which the graph shown by Deloitte say that China will hold about 49% of the global EV market. Europe will hold about 27% and United States will about 14%. The remaining countries will go for the remaining fraction. We cannot, unless a commitment is made by the manufacturers or a target is set by the manufacturers, you cannot believe in them. See the numbers that these guys are presenting, that what they wanted to reach about to. EV, the EV penetration strategy is flowing across all the manufacturers, MNCs, global MNCs. Tesla is setting up a 500,000 vehicle EVs a year plant. JLR is investing 1 billion pounds. SAIC and Volkswagen in China, they're investing 2.3 billion. BMW is converting 25% by 2021, 1 million by 2021. That is their target. Fiat Chrysler, if you look at 60% of the cars in Europe would be hybrid or fully electric. Coming to Renault, BMW, Volkswagen, Toyota. Toyota is talking about target of 5.5 million EV sales and 0.5 million sales in 2025. The target itself is 5.5 million, almost 50 or more than 50% of their volumes. They would like to target it. BMW is talking about 33% in 2025. Everywhere, everybody is focusing on converting electric vehicles, starting from percentage anywhere 25 to 30 to 40 or 70. And Netherlands, the country which is 100% electric, the countries which are going electric completely, they are targeting to go 100% electric. Every company is focusing on making electric vehicles entry, either PHEV or battery electric vehicle. So with this only, they can meet their global warming control or the pollution control. How does it work? Electric car uses electric energy stored in battery and is propelled by electric motor. Unless vehicles with combustion engine. Am I audible in between? I'm talking to you guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible.
Okay. Yeah. Unlike vehicles with combustion engines, electric vehicles do not produce exhaust gases during operation. This alone makes electric vehicle more environment friendly than vehicles with conventional IC engine powered vehicles. However, if the electrical energy comes from charging vehicle needs produced from renewable energy sources like wind, solar, hydroelectric, and biogas plant, it is 100% pollution is reduced. Means zero pollution when renewable energy sources are used for producing electricity. A basic layout of the electric vehicle: battery, motor, generator, and transmission. A simple construction. And the right side, which I show, is that the latest trending technology is a lithium-ion battery, motor, generator, transmission, and power for a power transfer. The basic working principle: an electric vehicle has an array of rechargeable batteries, at least one electric motor, a controller that feeds electricity to the electric motors based on input from the accelerator pedal. In the modern electric passenger vehicle, electricity to power the electric motor is provided by the rechargeable battery pack. So battery pack is recharged through the controller, it starts running the motor, and that motor drives the wheels through the transmission. That is how the drive arrangement is. A recent life cycle analysis of electric vehicles show that even when even when the most carbon intensive electricity in Europe, they emit fewer greenhouse gases than conventional vehicles. Oh, yeah. Unlike vehicles with combustion engine, electric vehicles do not produce exhaust gas during operation. So as I told you already, exhaust emission is zero. The electricity that is produced is what is adding the pollution. Where you're producing electricity like coal or thermal or those things, you get the pollution. If you are using a renewable energy sources like wind, solar, hydroelectric, or power gas plants, that becomes completely zero. The effect of greenhouse gases, which I was talking, the video which I showed, actually it was as a beautiful video, and that showed the exact how the deterioration is happening. And I could not play that video. This is how it is. Global warming potential, the impact is major impact is coming from fluorinated gases. Next is nitrous oxide, then methane, then least is carbon dioxide. However, in the environment, 76% is carbon dioxide. So, how much each human caused greenhouse gas contribute to total emissions around the world, you can see, because carbon dioxide is generated by us. That is contributing 76% of the total gases. Potential gains using the electric vehicles. Better air quality. Why? It is because there is no exhaust, there is no burning of fuel, nothing is there, there is no smoke. Greenhouse gases mitigation promotes renewable energy. The battery, through the battery, you can also renew the battery to recycle it and reuse, so that the wastage becomes lesser. Energy enhances energy security because the fossil fuel is depleting. So the world is having a dependency, another 50 years or so, there will be a zero. That's what the target people are talking about. So dependency on fossil fuel is reduced. Increase the plant load factor because effective utilization of electricity by giving us a suitable load for charging stations. And technological leadership in the auto technology. There are four pillars which contributes for the ecosystem electric mobility. So electric vehicle, all electric, plug-in hybrid, and hybrid. These are three categories of vehicles, and those are powered by the batteries, lithium-ion batteries, NMC, LTO, LFP, battery management system, re-energizing systems, and swapping of battery infrastructure, manufacturing capacity, research, development, and power grid. A little details about technical of EV. It's not much deep we will be going. It's because our focus is mainly onto what does it impact. So IC engine. It's either gasoline, a diesel, or CNG, whatever it is. And in electric vehicle, there are three categories majorly classified: hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and electric vehicles, pure electric vehicles. So hybrid is having one gasoline or diesel, smaller engine, and there is a rechargeable pack. So the energy for the battery charging comes from the engine, and sometimes the engine will run, sometimes the battery will run the power of the vehicle, but there is no external source for charging the battery. In a plug-in hybrid, it takes addition to whatever charge that takes from the engine. It also takes power from the external plug-in power source. So battery gets charged and you run the vehicle. The third is the completely external power source. There is no powertrain, there is no engine, internal combustion engine or any other power source is not there, only battery, controller, and motor. This is a simple construction schematic of electric vehicle. It's got a battery pack, charging port to charge the battery, onboard charger, and then battery, auxiliary battery, transmission, thermal system, DC power control, electric traction motor, power electronics controller. As I told you already, the battery electric vehicle. The electric vehicles are categorized into four. There are four types of battery electric vehicles. The most popular are first three. The fourth vehicle is a future technology that is coming in. So the battery electric vehicles, battery operated electric vehicles, either called BEV or EV. That's a fully plug-in motor driven vehicle. Hybrid electric vehicle, as I told you, it is the engine supported hybrid electric vehicle. Plug-in hybrid vehicle is engine plus the external power source charged vehicle. Fuel cell is the hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, which is still not in the mass market. In a few countries, it is still being operated as a technological advancement, not in a mass market. This is the types of EVs, which is again talking about what are the features and problems. Battery electric vehicle, the energy source is from battery, driven by electric motor, and it's a storage battery. No emission, not dependent on oil. Range depends largely on the battery size and its capacity to charge. Problems is battery price and capacity and range. So this is what is the major issue that has been faced last 10 years. Now the technology is advancing. The three areas which are being attacked. Four areas. Battery price. With the mass production, battery price is coming down per kilowatt hour battery price. Then capacity of the battery is increased with a smaller size, with a less weight, more capacity. With that, the range is getting increased. Earlier, it used to be 50, 70, 100. Now it's up to going 300, 400. Even some vehicles go to 500, 600, all of that. So depending on the capacity and the battery sizes. And the charging time was another issue. If you will have to travel from here to Kanyakumari, it's about, say, 700 kilometers. If your range is 100 kilometers, and if you're depending on a slow charging of 8 hours each, you can't reach before 6 days or 5 days. Whereas when you're having charging time reduced to half an hour or 1 hour, and the range is increased to instead of 100, you make it to 300, you reach in the same day. You have a break time for lunch, that time you charge. So that is how the on-highway charging stations are being introduced by the government, and government is asking for floating tenders for charging parks across the highways, on all highways, so that it becomes a food plaza, resting time by the time your vehicles get charged. So this is how they are trying to promote. So all the problem areas are being addressed now. And it is still improvising. This is a global technology leaders are still working on it. They mainly focused by US, Korea, Japan, and China. They are working on electric battery technologies. Then I told you hybrid electric vehicle, the battery and AC engines are running. So I already discussed about it. Fuel cell battery, it's a hydrogen fuel cell. So it is electric motor driven. There are 3-4 types of motors which are popularly used. Motor is rotating an electric machine. A motor converts electric energy into mechanical energy. It operates through the interaction between the magnetic field and set of windings. Magnetic field can be generated by permanent magnet or electromagnets or by induced EMF. The types of motors: DC series motor, brushless DC motor, permanent magnet synchronous motor, 3-phase AC induction motors, switched reluctance motors. So in electric 3-phase AC induction motors is driven by the motor controller. The electric energy is converted into mechanical output, and motor speed feedback goes back to the controller through Hall effect sensor for the power supply. Thermal sensor is provided to limit the current flows to the motor in the event of higher motor temperature. The motor is air-cooled using the external fan arrangement. Now, the latest technology is that water-cooled motors are there because of the high load and high power. The motor is coupled with a gearbox through a taper shaft and coupling arrangement. That's simple DC motor flowchart. Second is the brushless DC motor, commonly used in two-wheelers. then permanent magnet synchronous motor, switched reluctance motor. Then one more type is the three-phase AC induction motors. In this, there are two types there. Surface permanent magnet motors, that is, SPM. The other one is IPM. These are two types. And in that, there are 5 different types of rotor constructions. We are not going to the deep dive of this technology, but just for your knowledge. Transmission is connected to the wheels through transaxle without any clutch. In any car, you will have the gearbox that will have the 4-speed, 5-speed, 6-speed, or automatic 6-speed gearbox. But here you don't require any gearbox, a step down or step up gear. One time step up of the step down gearbox is required. You don't have to have a variable gear ratios. Reason is majority of do not have multi-spin because it does not require, it has got an instant torque. So because of that, there is nothing required. You can control with your accelerator pedal, that required torque goes to the wheel. This is only for the road speed and the motor speed optimization. A permanent single reduction motor is kept. That is the gearbox arrangement. The battery packs. Now there are battery packs, 2 types of battery packs. One is a parallel and series battery pack arrangements. And batteries have been a major energy source for EVs for a long time. Though, of course, was a time gone by. Different battery technologies have been invented and adopted. And this process is still going on to attain the desired performance goals. Some of the prominent battery types: lead acid, nickel cadmium, nickel zinc, zinc air, nickel metal hydride, sodium sulfur, lithium polymer, lithium ion batteries. These are the different types. Most popular now is lithium polymer, lithium ion batteries. And lead acid is becoming used only for the internal combustion engine vehicles, where it is for the power sources, for various power accessories we are using. When it is to drive a vehicle, lead acid battery is not really popular. Of course, in India, if you find, there are auto rickshaws or the smaller vehicles or smaller two-wheelers, so you will have the lead acid batteries because the range required is. Yeah, someone raise hand. Someone raise hand. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you spoke to me. Yeah.
1 second, sir.
Pandikunta. If there is any query, we can discuss at the end. Can I continue?
Yes, yes, I continue, sir. At last, you will ask the queries.
Yeah.
We'll give the time for them.
Yeah. So when battery, the technology, lead acid battery is becoming outdated because the power to weight ratio is not good. The charging capacity, holding capacity is comparatively less. It's heavier. So that is how people are moving towards the lightweight, high discharge and high charge capacity batteries, either nickel metal hydride or nickel cadmium or lithium polymer, lithium ion batteries. That is how the technology is moving towards. Based on the, as I told you, the long range, less charging time, and fast charging, less charging time, a long range is calling for, and lightweight is calling for this kind of new technology batteries. The types of batteries, there are cylindrical types, prismatic cells, pouch cells. Some companies are using cylindrical cells like Tesla. There are other companies which are using the prismatic cells. The pouch cells are also being used by some of the latest products. The arrangement of battery pack is like this. For cylindrical battery cells, you can arrange based on, the advantage of the cylindrical battery pack is you can use whatever places that you have without wasting your usage space. You can accommodate it. So you have in a usage space is better in the car. And prismatic cell, yes, it is heavier than the pouch cell, but the trend is going towards the pouch cell battery technology. Lithium-ion battery advantages. Today's lithium-ion cells have the highest density and good balance of power density, relatively low less self-discharge, less than half that of a nickel cadmium and nickel metal hydrate. Low maintenance, no periodic discharge needed, no memory effect. Challenges: requires protection circuit to limit the voltage and current, subject to aging, even if it is not in use. Transportation regulations when shipping in larger quantities and higher cost. We spoke about the battery, we spoke about motor, we spoke about the battery arrangement. Now we talk about the charging arrangement. Charging an electric car is a simple process. Plug the charger into the car and that is connected to the electric grid. Types of chargers and charging stations are onboard and portable chargers, off-board charging stations, charging station, and DC charging station. The schematic shows like AC normal charging. You plug in at your home. There is an onboard charger. It converts the thing to charge the battery. And the other one is a fast charging. Somebody's making noise. Can mute? Can everyone? I do not know. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some disturbance was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, it's clear, sir.
Okay, so DC fast charging is another option. So normal charging and DC charging. So as I told you, the fast charging is the DC fast charging. So that is how. And EV charges currently in 3 different models: level 1, level 2, and level 3. In level 1 and level 2, EV is connected to AC power, either 120 volt or 240 volts, and a battery charger in the EV converts to AC power to the DC needed to charge the battery and controls the charging process. It is generally limited to AC power available and the size of onboard battery charger installed in the EV. Level 3 is what is the DCFC, that is the direct current fast charging. Converts AC power into DC and DC power is sent directly to the EV battery bypassing the onboard battery charger. This allows the DC charge faster. The first level, the first charger which I show in the left side on top in the table is a slow charging, and the second one is the third level is the level 3 is the fast charging. So in between, there is one thing 30 minutes charging, there was a 8 hours charging. They introduced the level 2, there is a 3 hours charging that also been introduced. So depending on the capacity of the battery to absorb more current, you have the and source that is available, you can use the external power charging, fast charging facility. And the types of charger globally, because today it may be one company which is making one electric vehicle and it has got a unique charger port. Another company will have another charger port. But when it becomes a mass population, you cannot have an individual company having individual charger ports. So there is a global standard, and that is followed in various countries is what is listed here. Imagine if there is 1 lakh vehicle is running, 10 lakh vehicles are running in India. At any point in time in a day, 10 lakh vehicles are getting charged. It could be any type of vehicle. It has to go through and the fast charging stations. It has to accept universal adapters. That is how they are making standards. This is part of the protocol that accepted as a EV protocol. India is also part of that global membership. This one is a charger that is incorporated high voltage system in the vehicle is also called AC-DC. It converts AC to DC since it is direct current cannot be given to the smaller batteries. sorry, the DC-DC converter is for charging the auxiliary battery. That is the one power converter. A regenerative braking system. So I told you earlier that there is a hybrid vehicle where there is a battery gets re-energized from the engine. The technical advancements, they wanted to use whatever energy that goes wasted to convert that to electrical energy. So regenerative braking system is adopted, where instead of applying a brake and squealing noise and tire wear and brake pads wear, you apply electrical force to stop. Use that braking effort to convert into electrical energy and charge the battery. So you get additional source of power for charging your battery. So that is the regenerative braking system. Electric vehicle advantages. Electricity is readily available. Readily available in the sense you will have to increase the capacity when the mass market requirement comes. Yeah, definitely there will be power shortages because it also consumes too much of kilowatts of hours. So you need to increase, especially the renewable energy should be increased to get carbon neutrality. Since there is no IC engine, the vehicle runs noiseless. In fact, many times you won't even know the vehicle has just passed you. There are no emissions from EV. It is zero emission. Manufacturing EVs is very easy because it does not have many complicated things. It has got your regular wheels vehicles, braking systems. Then you have your motor, battery, control unit, and drivetrain arrangement. That's it. And it does not require a regular maintenance. Every 10,000 kilometers, oil change or air filter change, fuel filter change, or upgreasing, also the greasing, any of the items other than for the running components, except the wheels, there is no other maintenance required. So a battery, now the technology is so much improved that more than 2,000 recharge cycles is there for each battery. Technologies have come that level. And if you imagine each charging, each charge gives you about 300 kilometers, 2,000 recharge cycles is about 6 lakh kilometers. So 6 lakh kilometers is more than the life of the vehicle. Practically, you don't need. And the battery life is also up to 8 years to 10 years. There are companies which are giving long-range battery warranties. So practically, earlier the issue was the battery you'll have to replace after 3 years. And then at the cost of the battery was huge. Now that technology is changed. So range is increased and charging cycle is increased. With that, the battery technology is viable to replace the IC engines. And it is possible if we are able to go mass marketing and go for the charging infrastructure all across the country, we will be able to convert from IC engine vehicles to electric vehicles. As I told you, the major disadvantage in the past was that, charging time. Now it has come down to 30 minutes, 1.5 hours, 30 minutes. So with the fast charging technology that people are addressing. So same I told you, if you want to travel a long distance, when you're depending on a slow charging or a lower range, it will take longer time for you to reach your destination. That is also being addressed. And pollution will be controlled if you're taking a renewable energy sources to produce electricity. So in all, if I allow to say something about the EV and its impact on global environment, yes, the major pollution comes from human devastation of the earth. Nature, Mother Earth, is CO2 emissions, and that CO2 emission contributes about 14% of the global warming, and that is coming from the and a good chunk of thing is coming from the transportation. If we are able to work on a good battery technology, good motor, and increase the range of the battery, increase the, reduce the charging time, and reduce the cost of the battery, ensure the cost of ownership is lesser than the IC engine vehicles, people will come forward to buy the vehicle and make EV way of life, electric vehicle the way of life, and it will change the world, and we will go back to controlling the greenhouse gases, and we will be able to control the global temperature. Global warming can be contained. Otherwise, the population that has tripled in less than 100 years will not be able to manage without deforestation, without industrialization, without creating pollution. They will not be able to do it. So some way a contribution from transport sector is to go electric to make the globe friendly to living. And thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Zeno, already Zeno, do you have any query?
Yeah, we have come about, it is almost 1 hour. So we will take some questions. And at the end, if there are some questions left out or any detailed answer if you are expecting, I'll get back to you. I will give you my mobile number. It's a WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me, 9500 69325. 9500 69325. Anything that I can answer quickly, I can give you an answer. Anything that I cannot immediately give or some data to be collected and given to you, I will definitely give it to you after seeing the WhatsApp message. Yeah, sure, please, sir. Go ahead.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So my question was about, my question is, so why did a hydrogen vehicle come into picture? Because compared to electric vehicles, disposing batteries is an issue. So hydrogen is more environmental friendly.
Yeah.
And moreover, when you said about the distance, so we can use hydrogen as a fuel for a long distance transport too, right?
Yeah.
So it can even be used with an internal combustion engine. So hydrogen, internal combustion engine, and so on. So why didn't the hydrogen vehicle kickstart or go? And why did it suddenly stop and EV took a bigger leap in technology?
Okay. The easier way to go is what they have chosen at the moment, because the technological difficulties of handling hydrogen. Either you bring hydrogen in from the industries and store at high pressure cylinders, or generate hydrogen in the vehicle itself. That technology is not still evolved, and it is not in the mass market. In Europe, some countries are operating, and in US on a trial basis they are running. Yes, hydrogen is a good technology and is completely neutral of all pollution, but the technology is still not evolved to the extent of mass market usage. Safety of handling hydrogen is still not popular. It is still at the technological prove-out stage.
Because I was also thinking about electrolysis. So we have electrolysis of electrolyzing water yields hydrogen and oxygen, something like a fuel cell. So yes, even fuel cell is doing well right now. So why didn't that come into the vehicle? So that's my confusion. So could you?
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. So if you are getting from the fuel cell, what you're getting is the hydrogen, right?
Yes, exactly.
The hydrogen, the storage and handling of hydrogen is the biggest technological difficulties that everyone was facing. And it is not that we are ruling out.
It's not ruled out. Okay.
So, see, we were living with the lead acid battery. Then we moved to lithium-ion battery. Yes. In lithium-ion battery, we were having a range initially 50 kilometers to 70 kilometers per charge. Today, we are ranging, the range is increased, size of the battery is reduced, and the range is increased. So, technology keeps changing. And advancement is going on. Definitely, hydrogen fuel cell vehicle is definitely a good future. It'll be even, you have in your electricity, at least you depend on the coal burning that emits emissions, whereas in your fuel cell, it is all nullified.
Yes, exactly.
I agree with you. It's a good technology, but it's not to the stage of mass market introduction.
Okay, sir. Because I noticed like in recent days, only people are focusing only on EV, and there's not much development in hydrogen. That's why I was thinking like why that happened. Something related to corporate dependency or regarding profit.
No, it is mainly technology. It's the technology still not proven.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Yeah, one moment, sir.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
1 second, sir. One person. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir. Tell me, sir. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, Kannan, sir, good. Thank you for your useful information on electrical technology.
Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Thirumaran, Physics Department. I have one clarification, sir, from your side.
Yeah.
Global warming is a very universal problem, and it is a major threat to all over the countries, because we have to take care of that global warming. So electrification process is also the most important process, so that we can reduce the global warming. Second thing, that is emission of carbon dioxide also can be controlled, sir. Then I want to know, sir, the cost of the vehicle, electrical two-wheeler, three-wheeler or four-wheeler vehicle manufacturing, whether the cost is too much comparatively higher than the normal now conventional vehicles now available. Moreover, today petrol rate is almost 100 rupees per in Tamil Nadu, it is 100 rupees per liter. So it is giving harmful to our global environment, and whether this electrification process is possible in future.
Electrification is possible in future. See, what is the limitation that is there is the battery cost. The battery cost was the major cost, which used to be, on a vehicle which you are buying for 10 lakh rupees, the battery cost used to be about 6 lakh rupees. That was the threat earlier. So it is slowly reducing per kilowatt hour battery price. It starts reducing. Now they are talking about $100 per kilowatt hour of battery. So they are trying to reduce the battery price. If the battery price comes lesser, then the cost of ownership will be better. Target is to overall cost of ownership to maintain at the IC engine levels, IC engine vehicle levels. Here the difference is the cost of ownership because of the battery is initial cost is high. There are ways to make it, people are trying, there are 2-3 different options are done by marketing, and it is not yet popular. Like, they want to do the swappable battery. So you have a battery supplier will install the battery on your vehicle and take it. Your battery is not your property, only vehicle without the batteries are there. So you pay for the what usage you are doing. That is one thing which people are talking about. Second is the battery technology is reducing and the availability of raw material, because this entirely controlled, majority is controlled by China. The raw material is available in China. So because of that, the battery prices are not reducing, and the global expansion of electric vehicles is also calling for more demand in the raw materials of the battery. So they will have to play between the demand and supply to reduce the battery cost. If the battery cost comes down, the cost of ownership will be maintained at the range of the IC engines and overall experience. But in a day-to-day operation, many people will talk. Supposing I buy a car at 10 lakh rupees for a gasoline vehicle, and instead of that, I buy at 12 lakh vehicles or 12 lakh rupees for a battery vehicle. So I pay 2 lakh more. If I don't consider that 2 lakh rupees as part of my investment, then my running is cheaper in electric vehicle, because my charging cost is per unit is 7 rupees or 8 rupees or 10 rupees and per kilowatt hour. And when I equate it, it is much cheaper than your petrol cost. So if you ask me, running cost is cheaper. Overall cost of ownership when it comes to battery cost and other things, it is almost equal at this stage. It was much costlier earlier. It is almost equal at this stage with the IC engine vehicles. Going forward, if the technology further improves and the range is increased, then it will be even the overall cost of ownership of the vehicle will come down better than the IC engine vehicles. This is what the trend. So people will opt for it. And to subsidize the customers, government is offering schemes. You sell your old vehicle, buy a new electric vehicle, or, they are going to offer some incentives. Road tax is not there. Those are the schemes which they are bringing. The government is also trying to, reduce emission by, disposing of the 15 years old vehicles and 20 years old vehicles and offering incentives. Same incentive schemes will come for electric vehicle purchases also. And a lot of schemes are being offered, even to the manufacturer to promote sale of electric vehicles. The biggest constraint in an EV today, the cost dependency is because of the battery. Even motor is almost well in control. It is not really asking for more money. It is only the battery that is driving the cost of the vehicle. The day you break even the battery cost to an optimal level, you are reached. It will be a better vehicle. Have I clarified or no? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So further queries, we'll just consolidate it and we'll wait.
No, it's okay. One or two more questions I am ready to take. No problem. If you are having time, I can take one or two more questions.
Actually, the next session is, the next guest is also there, sir.
Okay.
If we have it, we'll proceed it later, sir.
Okay.
So that was indeed a very educative and enlightening talk, sir. Thank you very much. I, on behalf of Savitha School of Engineering, Department of Energy and Environmental Engineering, would like to thank the speaker, Mr. Gaunda Kannan, for spending his valuable time with us today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Am I allowed to continue in this meeting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Satyamurthy, sir. Satyamurthy, sir.
Yeah, speaking. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I welcome everyone. Yes, sir. Shall I proceed, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I welcome everyone to the fourth talk of this World Environment Day Celebration 2021. This event is being organized by the Department of Energy and Environmental Engineering, Savitha School of Engineering, SIMATS. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker for the day, Mr. R. Satyamurthy. Mr. R. Satyamurthy has obtained his master's in engineering from Environmental Engineering and is working as the Deputy Head in Environmental Engineering Division, Civil Engineering Program Office at ISRO, Bangalore. He is responsible for planning various environmental sustainable work in many ISRO establishments. We are really lucky to have this extremely knowledgeable person from the scientific field to enlighten us on the importance of environmental safety in ISRO. I invite you to make the presentation, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyway, already 3 sessions, very important and knowledgeable, eminent speakers have already spoken, ma'am. So I don't know how best I can fit into. Anyway, being very close to my heart, as an environmental engineer, I will not be speaking much, but I will be speaking on what exactly we are practicing and implementing in our establishments and in our offices across India, which may be small, but which are making a substantial change and substantial improvements to improve the environment, nature, and for caring the environment, ma'am. So actually, as already spoken and told, we all know that World Environment Day is being celebrated since 1974 with a main objective to care for the environment and not to take it for granted. Are we really caring for it? I really have a small doubt, because when we see the rapid industrialization in the guise of rapid industrialization, of course, development is also required, but in that process, I think we are encroaching into our natural resources due to rapid industrialization, urbanization. We are encroaching into our lakes, and we are building concrete structures which are putting a lot of burden on our mother nature and environment. So I come from a city called Bangalore, which you all are very much familiar. So the city was called as Garden City and the city of lakes once, but it has become a garbage city, and which is replicating every now and then, and especially during the monsoon seasons and all, we are seeing rapid blocking of the sewer lines, blocking of manholes, which is leading to flooding, and finally it is causing epidemics, and all these problems we are facing because of our own creation and our own problems, madam. So the healthier the ecosystem, the healthier will be the planet, and of course all the humans. And the main object of the World Environment Day is to protect the environment and also to remind people about the importance of environment if we have to live and lead a safe and hygienic life. So towards this, I would like to just brief upon what all the initiatives we are practicing and taking in our establishments, in our ISRO establishments, ma'am. So we also used to observe the World Environment Day in a very befitting manner. We used to organize massive tree plantation drives. We used to distribute saplings to our staff and employees. We used to create awareness to all the employees, because mass creation of awareness among individuals, among all, is the only solution which can take care of the mother nature. And we used to visit nearby schools, villages, and inculcate the young minds and distribute jute bags and tell them about the adverse effects of using the plastic, the usage of plastic bags and all these things, man. So then coming to our campus practices, what we are practicing in our ISRO establishments, we have innumerable number of campuses spread across the nation. We have so many housing colonies comprising from 100 to 500, 600 houses in each colony. So I can proudly say that we have made most of our housing colonies as zero waste discharge campuses. So how we are achieving a zero waste discharge? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, fine. So I can proudly say that almost all our campuses as well as our housing colonies are now a zero waste discharge campuses. So how we are achieving a zero waste discharge campus? So we have established our own sewage treatment plants for treating. We are not sending even a single drop of water from the campus. The wastewater from the housing as well as campuses, we are treating to the tertiary treatment level, and we are using this treated water for innumerable number of purposes like flushing of toilets, and we have huge garden and lawn areas. We are using drip and sprinkler irrigation systems. Even for firefighting systems also we are making use of this water. And apart from that, if there is any excess water, we are using it for harvesting and rainwater harvesting. And we have solar water heating systems also, and we are harnessing the solar power also, and more than 2 megawatt power we are harnessing from the solar energy. And we have provided almost in all offices and in housing colonies the low flow faucets, which may look small, but we are substantially changing a lot of fresh water, and we are caring for the mother earth. And among our own housing colonies, we are creating competitions by conducting some essay programs, and by including all the house members to participate in the World Environment Day celebrations, and we are giving some technical talks, and we are educating them about segregation of the waste, the importance of segregation of the waste, and we are collecting the waste, organic waste, segregated waste, and we are treating it in our own organic waste composters. And we are using the manure generated from the organic waste composters, and the waste we are using it for our own lawn and garden irrigations, and whatever excess is there we are distributing during the occasions like World Environment Days and other programs free of cost to the employees and staff of our own establishment. And especially in the office establishments, we have canteens also, where huge quantity of kitchen waste is generated. The kitchen waste we are treating using biogas plants, and we are generating biogas, and we are using that biogas, and thereby reducing the carbon footprint to a greater extent also. And among the center level, among our ISRO centers, among various centers also, we have competitions, and the best center in achieving the best hygiene and sanitation practices and innovative technologies, and who are practicing the best methods which are formulated from our headquarters. And if they have any innovative technologies like waste to wealth processes and all, we are giving them some 3 prizes among all. And also, as a part being a government organization, we are part of the Government of India's initiative in participating in the Swachh Bharat Mission activities, and we are observing the Swachhata Pakwada activity, which is a fortnight activity every year, which goes for a period of about 14 days. And during the Swachhata Pakwada activity, we gave a mass pledge to all the, we observe mass pledge in all our establishments and centers, and we arrange some technical talks, and also the best officers, best program officers, best centers will be selected, and they will be rewarded. And Government of India selected our establishment 2 times in achieving the best establishment, best government organization in achieving the Swachhata mission, Swachh Bharat mission in maintaining sanitation and hygienic practices. And also, as per the guidelines of Ministry of Environment and Forest, so we need to cover about 1/3 of the land area with tree cover, because tree plantation and tree cover is the most essential part for caring the mother nature, because we are seeing the importance of oxygen. The present pandemic has taught us a very important lesson. We are paying a huge price for that. The importance of oxygen is already, we know it. And we have a target plan of about planting around 50 lakh saplings for the next 10 years as per the Government of India guidelines. And every year we are doing the tree plantation drives to achieve this initiative. And also our offices and our establishments, we have totally banned use of any kind of plastics and plastic bags and plastic items as such. And I would like to say a few things, one sentence here, that no life without environment, which can be safeguarded only by all individual participation only. And I would like to quote a word from Mahatma Gandhi ji, that the Mother Earth has enough for fulfilling the need of each and every one, but not for fulfilling the greed of all. I think the greed only is making, is bringing us into the present situation. And the present pandemic is also maybe because of the greed of the people, which is resulted in the present situation. So good air and good environment at workplace, at house, at office, etc., can definitely produce a good hygiene, which can lead to good health and good output. And we should inculcate and adopt the 4 R's principles, that is the refuse. To the extent possible, refuse. If not possible, you reduce, then reuse it, then recycle principle. The same thing we are adopting and we are practicing it. And finally, I would like to quote a few words here. The earth, the air, and the water does not need us for their survival, but we need them for our own survival and for our own future generations. Hence, it is the responsibility of all of us to protect the Mother Nature, Mother Earth, the environment, to restore ecosystems and to reduce the carbon footprint, to increase the tree cover. Anyway, so with this, I think I will conclude my talk, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the organization for giving me an opportunity to speak a few things about my establishment and the simple practices which you are practicing, but they are making a very big difference in our establishment, financially as well as caring for the Mother Nature. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's very it's a valuable points we got from your side, actually.
Actually, I was attending one more webinar.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
I could not make any PPT presentations because I was given only one day time for attending to this webinar. So I could not make any PowerPoint presentation. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. We are very happy your presence are available in our World Environmental Celebration. We are very happy about that. And thank you, sir, our content founder also, because we got a wonderful presentation about PHP. Okay, you gave the wonderful technical presentation. We got it from your side, actually. Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Hariharan, I just sent one mail to Sharif. I sent to Sharif.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you, because that video play was not proper, can you play that video from there? Just it's a 5 minutes video. It's a good one on environment, which at the start of my presentation, I wanted to present, it was not going well. I sent it across. Can you just play it for everyone's?
Yeah, sure, sir. I will do so.
Is the time over? Participants are all less now? I don't know. Oh, 142 participants. Okay. Have you got it or no?
1 second, sir. We're just checking.
Send to Mohammed Sharif mail ID.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah. Sir is just looking into it. 1 minute.
I wanted to start with that video, but since I could not do it, let me close it with that video, if you can close it. Some problem? No. Mail I sent it to. There's one moment. Not this. Okay. I sent a mail video attached. So if it is not the case, it's okay. This is not the one.
Is it audible?
No.
Sir, is it audible?
You're not, there's no video playing. There's no video. I think your setting is not there. I tried here, it was not going.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'll do one thing. I'll share to all the participants, actually.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
My attempts have gone nothing. Okay, all the best. Thank you, guys. Thank you everyone for participation. It's a very nice event, and on the Global Environment Day. Wish you all a safe and healthy life. All the best.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you very much, sir. The pleasure is ours, sir. On behalf of Savita School of Engineering, Department of Energy and Environmental Engineering, I would like to thank both the speakers for this session, for spending in their valuable time with us today. On this note, I would also like to thank our beloved Director Madam, Mrs. Ramya Deepak, our respected Principal Sir, Dr. Ramesh, event coordinators, program directors, deans, heads of the departments, faculty members, students, and participants for spending in their valuable time with us today. So from now on, let us all work together to make the change. There's one more session at 4 p.m. So I would request all of you to join in at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.